from my personal account to see what it looks like on YouTube.
Sounds good. I'm gonna full mute you on Riverside now. Just wave if you need me.
Are you live on TikTok?
Yeah, I'm hitting the button now. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hell yeah. Let's go. Let's go.
What is up?
What up? What up?
Yep, what's up?
Let's get this show on the road, shall we?
All right.
Everything looks centered on your end.
Yeah. Yeah, you look good at TikTok. I'm looking at our YouTube as well. It looks like we are live on YouTube. We're all synced up there.
Sounds good. Sounds good to me. I'm excited for this bracket stuff to come out. I'm gonna check real quick to see if I can just get right back into Riverside off of taking pics of like the regional brackets and stuff.
Okay, sounds good. I want to see how much of a delay there is. So I'm going to watch my personal account as you exit.
Gotcha. Oh, so easy. So easy. It keeps me. It just keeps the tab open, keeps me in. We're good.
Oh, you don't even actually leave.
No. So that's sick. So you're
I
gonna
do
still.
see it. I see it cuts out your camera for just like a second, but then it puts you back and you're good.
Yeah. Once I tab back in, it puts me in. Thoughts on OSU? They are not very good. I said they were overrated, and they showed it in the Big Ten tournament. Which, hold up, I got something for him.
Thoughts on OSU? No. Excited to dive into Selection Sunday.
They have no chance, Nico. They were borderline, then all of a sudden, they lost. So they're kind of screwed, buddy. Respectfully. You know what? It's OSU. It's OSU. Disrespectfully, they're out.
Man had to bring out the big Michigan hat.
Yes, I did. And everybody's going to look at the background now, too. That's what we're going to do today.
You're going to make people look at that background? It's kind of disrespectful.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Kind of disrespectful, if you ask me.
My big head doesn't quite fit in this hat very well.
All right. So here we are. We're what, 15 minutes away from picks here?
Yes, sir. I believe they'll go one region at a time, probably hit a commercial break, come back, talk about the first region they announce, come back.
Right.
It'll be kind of split up, but for sure. So this will be probably, like an hour and a half or so by the time everything comes out, hopefully.
Yeah. We'll spend an hour and a half on here. Going through all the regions' picks and everything. Should be a good one.
Yes, sir.
Should be a good one. Who has the most teams in the tournament this year? I think the SEC is going to end up with the most.
Yeah, definitely. I think they're going to have maybe like up to 10, maybe 10 or 11 or
up
more.
10 or 11.
It's CBS and ESPN. Thank you, Alex. I will be keeping CBS on. I feel like Florida can win it. They seem to be the most consistent team at this point in time. So, but Duke looks real good without Cooper Flag. So I'm curious to see when Cooper Flag comes back, because that'll determine a lot of brackets as well, I think.
The other freshmen are really good too. Malawach and Concanapple. I mean, they're pretty legit too. So
I like Proctor though too.
they do have some experience, which helps.
For sure. Hopefully, brackets pan out for Michigan at this point. That's what I'm hoping. I thought we had no chance going into the Big Ten tournament. I said that to you before we even hopped on live. I had no hope for us.
I mean, hey, they win the tournament though now. So I mean, where do you think they end up seed wise? They end up as a 3 or 4.
4. I wouldn't be surprised if they get stuck at a 5, but I would say 4. And the teams I have on screen are the teams I expect to be the number 1 seeds too. Michigan State lost, Alabama lost, Tennessee lost, so they lost their chance in trying to move up to a 1 seed. I think Auburn, I know they lost as well, but I think Auburn actually was already kind of like stapled in as a 1 before they even lost. But that's just my opinion. That could be changed. I thought Michigan State was the only other team that could possibly take a 1 spot over Auburn, but they didn't win the Big Ten tournament, obviously. Texas should be in. I mean, a lot of teams should be in, if you're asking me, but obviously you can only put in so many teams, so that is the way it goes. I don't know. I thought Texas looked good in the tournament, at least first round.
You talked about it earlier in an earlier stream too. That momentum in the conference tournament means so much going into
Exactly.
the actual tournament play. Such a huge difference.
Exactly.
So Michigan now, like if you were high on Michigan before, I mean, you got to think maybe at least a Sweet 16 run
now. Maybe.
With all that momentum.
Maybe. They have certain guys that are playing well that weren't playing well towards the end of the regular season. So I think that's kind of intriguing. Like we got back to what won us games at the beginning of the year. And some of the guys that are just like defensive base guys were starting to hit threes for us as well, which obviously helps. They're not out there to hit shots, and they made a couple shots. Kaysen and Jones for us are our defensive guys, and they ended up hitting 3 total threes today. So
I feel like Kaysen turned the game around.
Yeah, I told my dad that he was hot ass, and then all of a sudden he started to prove me wrong in the second half, and I was like, well, shit, he kept us in the game.
He did do that. He did keep you in the game.
So it is what it is. I see Yale won their conference tournament as well against Cornell. So Yale was actually a team that people expected to be probably like higher seeded, let's say like around like a 10, 11. I think that's a team that could definitely win a first round matchup. I don't know how you feel about them at this moment in time. But I guess we'll see where the bracket kind of lays everybody out at. We have another like 10 minutes till that gets started. So
Right.
I feel like Alabama or Tennessee is going to be put in the same bracket as Duke, and that'll be intriguing to me because those are going to be like 2 or 3 seed teams, probably 2s if I had to guess. And obviously with Duke's injury with Cooper Flagg, if he can't come back, I think that'll favor them, especially if Flagg's out for the tournament. But
where are you at on Houston?
I like Houston to an extent. Again, I think that's matchup based for them. I just don't think their competition regular season, just like Duke, is enough to be competing with an SEC type of team. So if Houston again gets caught with a Tennessee, I would probably pick Tennessee.
Interesting. You're high in the SEC for sure.
Definitely high on the SEC, but I also think there's a lot of sleeper teams kind of hiding out there. Maryland being one of them. Maybe Texas Tech, maybe. There's certain teams that I think can just pop off against certain matchups. For example, Michigan's more of like a slow it down half court pace because we're 7-footer based with Wolf and Golden. But if you run into a team like Tennessee, Bama, who's like guard based, Houston, there's a potential for like a team like Michigan to get run off the court. Depends on how the pace of the game goes, obviously. It depends on how you think the game's going to go. But Mike, Gators is definitely the safe bet if I had to go with any team right now. Who are you picking at this moment in time, Zach, if you had to choose?
I like St. John's, honestly.
You love the low-end D1 teams, always. And they're not exactly like a Cinderella team because they are going to be a 1 seed. But it's not the SEC, it's not the Big Ten. So that kind of makes sense that you picked them.
Yeah, but I feel like St. John's has got to be at least a winner of a decent percentage of brackets going into this specific tournament. I mean, there's just been so much talk about Patino and the impact that he has on teams and the turnaround efforts that he leads. So I just think, that much hype going into it. Why not ride it out with St. John's? I just really like their defense too. I think in the tournament, they really clamped down on a lot of different styles of play. They're very aggressive defensively, so you can always fall back on that, even if offensively you're not playing that well. So I like St. John's the way they're built for tournament play.
Obviously, it comes down to a lot of things, but in regards to a lot of conversations we have, of course, you pick the defensive side of things. I don't think St. John's has enough offensively to stick with certain teams. So that's why I'm going to have them be out by the Sweet 16 or Elite 8, depending on the matchups.
Defense wins championships, baby. Defense wins championships.
Not if you're Florida and scoring 86 plus in the last 5 games.
Who's Florida playing? All those SEC games are getting close to 100 now.
This is true.
I mean, do you think those games are going to stay around 100 in the Elite 8 and the Sweet 16? I don't think so.
70s. I would say 70s. But St. John's plays in the 50s, 60s. But real quick, Aiden said, where's Michigan now? I would put them a 4 seed. Aiden, I would put them a 4 seed. I wouldn't be surprised if they stay 5. Josh says go green. I expected this. Michigan State is still a team to be reckoned with. Wisconsin, I don't know, hit a lot of shots yesterday compared to today. Maybe it was just a hot day for Wisconsin. I don't know.
Kind of disappointing, honestly, that it wasn't a Michigan State Big Ten championship. Really disappointing.
For sure. It didn't really feel like a conference championship game to me because Wisconsin was in it. Like, I felt like it needed to be like Maryland, Michigan State, and Michigan, some combo of the 3. As a Michigan fan, I thought we were going to get knocked out early. So, George, you can screw off because I was not high on Michigan at all. We probably would have lost to Michigan State a 3rd time if it was in the championship game. So I will give you credit where credit is due, George. Stop coming from my neck. Thank you. But no, I said if Michigan wasn't going to make it, which I expected them to not make it, right? I wanted it to be Maryland versus Michigan State because that would have determined a lot for me in the bracket that's going to be made here soon.
Maryland, Michigan State probably would have been the best game because if you put Michigan State in there, you already know what that outcome is going to be. So yeah, either way though, I feel like Wisconsin. You make a good point about Wisconsin. Wisconsin making the Big Ten championship. I mean, they made a good run in the tournament, but
yeah,
it'll help their seeding.
For sure.
Which we're getting close to. We're now 3 months away.
BYU is a good sleeper team, Dallin. Sounds like you're probably a BYU fan. I don't think Bryant can pull off an upset. That I'll disagree with you. Wisconsin is ass. I definitely agree with you. And then, George, if you were here throughout the week, so I do TikTok lives around 1 p.m. Eastern time each week, weekday, I should say. I was saying that Michigan was going to get knocked out by the round of 32 in the tournament because of the way we were playing. We lost 4 straight going into the Big Ten tournament. I had no hope. That's why I was saying Michigan State versus Maryland all week. Drake's a sleeper, VCU's not. But yeah, I don't know, Zach. had no hope with Michigan, and now I'm just going to be excited because we won something. And I don't think we're going to win the March Madness tournament, so I might as well celebrate before that ends.
Might as well celebrate the conference tournament. It did just feel like the players weren't even that excited. Like watching the end of that game, I was watching like Will's reaction. It was like okay, but
I mean, there's more to
I guess when
do.
you, yeah, I guess when you know you have the tournament right around the corner, it's hard to get that excited.
There's more to do,
But
and if you watch the game, especially in the first half, it looked like guys were kind of gassed already. Like you could tell they played 3-4 games, 3-4 days in a row.
right,
Wisconsin especially because we had a bye. Um, Wisconsin played one more extra game than us. I
yeah,
believe the field goal percentages at halftime, Wisconsin was like 22%, and we were like 28%. So it was just
yeah.
ugly.
So let's switch back over to the SEC here and talk about Auburn because it is one of the teams you have
Yes.
up there as a predicted 1 seed. They've not played that well as of late.
Yeah, I think they are struggling. I still think they'll get the 1 seed because they earned it throughout the season. That's just me. Um, if I had to, without looking at a bracket, right, because we're waiting on that at the moment, without looking at the bracket, I'd probably have Auburn lose by Elite Eight or Final Four, but I do not have them in the championship game at this moment in time. I just feel like they kind of lost momentum, and it's kind of leaning towards like the Bama, Tennessee, Florida. Like I'd pick those three over Auburn at this point. Um,
Yeah, I mean they lost to Florida on February 8th,
mm-hmm,
which is like a little over a month ago. But then 3 out of their last 4 games, they lost to Tennessee yesterday. They beat Ole Miss by 5 on Friday.
mm-hmm,
They lost by 2 to Alabama on Saturday,
mm-hmm.
and they lost by 9 to Texas A&M on Tuesday. So they've lost 3 out of the last 4 games.
Exactly, and it's to the teams that are going to be 2 seeds, right, or 1 seeds in. If you're talking about Florida, obviously, George, Michigan State, I have them in the championship game unless there's something in the bracket that I see. But no, I think Ole Miss is going to be maybe like a 4, not a 4. They might be like mid-tier seeding for the March Madness tournament. Pushed them, only won by 5, like you said. I think that's a competitive team. I think that's a team that can make a run. There's a lot of SEC teams that I like. Like there's a lot of experience when you go against a team like Florida, Auburn, Tennessee, Bama, like all year round. If you run into like a mid-tier Big Ten team like Illinois, I feel like Ole Miss could run Illinois out of the gym. And that's just the way I feel. Because I think the SEC is stacked compared to different conferences. If you are to compare them, Clemson overrated. They lost to Louisville. Louisville's sneaky, but like again, ACC is very weak. Clemson is going to get knocked out by an SEC team.
Yeah, you've been high on the SEC like the entire time, so I can't fault you for sticking to that. Um, I mean, I think the SEC is probably the best conference. I don't know if I'm high enough on them to say that they'd run like mid-tier Big Ten team out of the gym if they faced off in the tournament. I just think like a lot of the tournament games end up being closer than the spreads anticipate, right? Like that's the beauty of the tournaments. A lot of them games are close. A lot of them come down to the wire. So I just don't think uh, the SEC is gonna like run away with these games as much as what you're saying.
Yeah, and if you want to talk differently too, that is the deeper conference in my opinion. But if you want to look into it more, 1 seeds typically don't win every year. So you could have an Ole Miss at a 5 seed come in and do something. You could have a 4 seed in Maryland come in and win it. Like there's a bunch of different alternatives that you could think of. There's so much parity again, and even in college basketball with the NIL deals and stuff. I feel like you have to think other than a 1 seed is going to win.
We're getting real close to parts of the bracket starting to come out. Should be fun.
Yes, sir. I believe that's probably going to be on ESPN too, right? Oh, it's coming out right now. Ooh, let's go, baby. Auburn got the 1 seed in the first bracket, guys. Auburn got the first 1 seed.
All right. Yeah, Auburn at 1.
Which 16 seed is gonna make it?
Bracket coming out right now.
St. Francis. Yo, that's where my friend Taylor's the athletic trainer at. So it's gonna be lit if they can make it. Come on, it's between Alabama State and St. Francis. Come on. We got Louisville as an 8 seed, guys. Louisville as an 8 seed. Louisville could push Auburn in that round of 32. Wow.
Jake, we got someone clowning you for your Michigan hat in the YouTube live.
I know it's sexy. I know. Creighton got a 9 seed. Oh.
Creighton got a 9 seed. Oh, wait, so that 8-9 matchup then.
It's Louisville versus Creighton. Alabama State and St. Francis, I think, are a play-in game. Michigan got the 5 seed in that bracket. They stayed a 5 seed.
Okay, so they didn't move up to a 4. They did not move up.
Nope. What was he saying about my hat?
He just said, look at this dude with a bunch of laughing faces.
Michigan gets UC San Diego. Nah, we gonna whoop their ass. We're good.
So you got UC San Diego in the first round?
Yeah, they're 30-4, weak conference. I think they won their conference tournament though.
Where's the rest of that bracket coming out now? Where's the 4? Where's the 13?
Just came out now. Texas A&M's a 4. We're waiting on the 13. Texas A&M is a 4. This is a very flip-floppy bracket, if you ask me. Texas A&M versus Yale. Yale's the 13.
You were decently high on Yale. I feel like there's always a 13 seed, right?
I'm low on A&M though. That's the thing. I was high on Yale and low on A&M before it even came out.
That could be the one.
That's crazy.
That could be the one.
Ole Miss is a 6 versus either San Diego State or North Carolina in a play-in. San Diego State or North Carolina could both win that game. That did not come out yet, TD Flow. It's coming out right now.
You know, bracket's coming out as we speak. Yale is tough, Zion. I think Yale has a good chance to win that game, actually, in the first round.
If I'm being honest, I'm picking Auburn, Louisville. I'm picking Michigan. I'm picking Yale. And then we have Ole Miss playing either San Diego State or North Carolina, 6 versus 11. And we got Iowa State is the 3 seed, and Lipscomb is the 14 seed. I think Iowa State wins that easy. And then we got 7 versus 10, Marquette versus New Mexico. I think that's a good game, too.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a toss-up. Zion's also saying Michigan got robbed as the 5 seed, staying at 5.
Yeah, I can roll with that. We've been consistently a 5, but we lost, 4 straight games before the Big Ten tournament. So I don't mind staying at the same spot. Like, I'm not surprised. But
you feel good about that matchup, though.
Exactly, yes. Don't know, Vic. We don't know yet. Thanks for the follow, TD. Appreciate it. Michigan State is the 2 seed in that bracket against number 15, Bryant.
Somebody was talking about Bryant earlier, weren't they? Somebody was talking about Bryant?
Yeah, so let's run through this, Zach. You're going to make your pick since I kind of sort of made mine already in that first round.
All right, let's do this. All right, for the first part of the bracket here. And what section is this?
South region.
All right, South region.
I'm going to hop out of here real quick. South region, Auburn versus Alabama State or St. Francis, 1 versus 16.
Yeah, you can take Auburn there.
8 versus 9, Louisville versus Creighton.
I like Creighton.
Michigan versus UC San Diego, 5 versus 12.
Take Michigan there.
And then number 4 seed Texas A&M versus 13 Yale.
Yeah, I'll take Yale there. Got to take Yale in that upset.
And then the next section is Ole Miss versus either San Diego State or North Carolina. Ole
Miss.
I think that's an easy one regardless. 3 versus 14, Iowa State versus Lipscomb.
Yeah, Iowa State there too.
And then we got Marquette, number 7 versus 10, New Mexico.
I've only picked one upset so far.
Yeah.
I'll take New Mexico there.
And then number 2, Michigan State versus number 15, Bryant.
Yeah, Michigan State on that one as well.
I would be picking Marquette, I think, instead of Tennessee, San Diego.
So that's the one
To be
difference you make.
Yeah, just because I don't want to be the same as you, because you're always wrong. So,
Yeah, I appreciate it.
what's your final 4? Let's see. Without knowing the bracket, okay, if I'm picking a final 4 team to come out of the bracket we just saw, I'm going to pick Michigan State as the 2 seed, beating either Louisville or Auburn or whoever comes out, Michigan, whoever it is.
Oh yeah, I like Michigan State. Part of me wants to say Iowa State too.
Yeah. I honestly think that might end up being a team that gets upset, though.
Yeah, I think it's either it's one of the top 3 seeds though in that side of the bracket.
Yeah. Let's do this. I'm going to try and work on getting the first section up here. Hot sauce, UNC has to play themselves in, so I don't know. I don't like them, regardless of what happens. I don't know, Zach. It's kind of interesting how this bracket panned out. I think 3, 4, 5 seeds are a lot weaker in this bracket than I expected them to be.
5 seed including Michigan.
Yes, because if they run into Michigan State, I think they're done for.
Right.
And we talked
I mean,
about that already.
what team in that bracket do you think could even compete with Michigan State? Auburn, maybe the only team that actually could.
I would say Auburn for sure. Nobody in their section, though, honestly. Like, I don't think Marquette competes. I don't think New Mexico competes. I would have to say Iowa State. I would have to say Iowa State.
Yeah. Mine over here on YouTube is saying Iowa State just got squeezed by Houston.
Exactly. So I don't know.
So it's yeah.
Can go either way. Right. Let me get back here to y'all on the YouTube side of things. Let's do this. Bada bing, bada boom. You say go Heels, Eric? Yo, they suck. What are we talking about? What are we talking about, Eric?
Yeah, UNC has just not really had that stuff recently, guys. It's not really there.
How are you going to lose a game on a free throw violation? That's what I want to know. Let's talk about that, Eric. Thoughts? No thoughts? Didn't think so. Psych. Sorry, I'm just going to start trolling people.
Let's see about the rest of this bracket when it comes out. We will be live a good bit. Jake will be live all throughout this week as March Madness kind of ramps up as we get deeper into the tournament. Florida will be hard to beat. It's a good point. They have a lot of depth. I mean, when you have 9, 10 guys you can play, makes it pretty tough.
Yeah, I think Tennessee, I feel like that game should have been closer. I think the refs screwed them within the last, 6 minutes of that game. Ryan, why do you think Auburn got unlucky? Do you not like the setup of that bracket? Because I think that's kind of a cakewalk of a bracket.
Besides Michigan State.
Yeah, I mean, but you have to run into somebody at some point in time, right?
Fair.
Auburn got unlucky. I'm trying to figure out where you're coming from on that. Michigan State's tough. Iowa State's okay. I don't know. if y'all are hanging out and waiting for these updates, please drop a follow. We appreciate all the support we can get. Also, the next bracket's starting to come out a while, Zach. As we're talking about the next region, I should say. We got
right. Yeah, about to hit the next region. Here we go.
Duke versus American or Mount St. Mary's, 1 versus 16. Mississippi State, 8 seed versus 9 Baylor. 5 Oregon versus 12 Liberty. And number 4 Arizona versus number 13 Akron. I think Akron can win that game. And then the bottom half is coming out right now. We got number 6 BYU, sleeper team. Keep that in mind. Heard it here first. And then the 11 seed coming out right now is come on, VCU. People are high on VCU. That's going to be probably one of the closest games, I think.
They're a March team. VCU is a March team.
Yeah. Yep, it's going to be, yeah, they just said it. High octane offense versus a great defense. So, Wisconsin got a 3 seed. So that moved them to a 3.
Wow, so Wisconsin got moved up to a 3 and Michigan State at a 5?
Nah, Michigan State's a 2. Michigan State at a 5. Yeah, my fault.
That's what I'm saying. After the Big Ten championship game.
Yeah. Number 3.
That's interesting to me.
Number 3 Wisconsin versus number 14 Montana. That means they had this bracket already kind of set before the games even happened, I think, today.
Yeah, if it didn't move at all, because
I think they had their mind made up.
Interesting.
To me, I'm okay with Michigan staying a 5, but I think Wisconsin should have moved to a 4.
Yeah, Wisconsin being a 3 feels too high.
St. Mary's dropped to a 7 after losing their conference championship game, and they play number 10 Vanderbilt. Also a sneaky team to some people.
So that's unfortunate for me because their conference championship game just happened earlier, right? So they get the penalty for losing in it, but Wisconsin doesn't because the game ends half hour before the selection happens. That
is kind of crazy.
That's not fair.
Yeah, and then we got number 2 Alabama in that bracket. So Bama's in the same section as Duke right now. Wait for it. Who's number 15? We got Robert Morris at number 15. Man. Okay.
Yikes.
So let's go back. Duke's going to win that first round game no matter what 16 seed ends up there. Tell me if you disagree. I am picking number 8 Mississippi State over number 9 Baylor. Mississippi State 21-12, Baylor 19-14.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm picking number 12 Liberty over number 5 Oregon.
I'm gonna stick with Oregon there.
And then I'm probably gonna stick with Arizona. Number 4 Arizona over number 13 Akron.
I'll take Akron there just to flip flop those two.
Yeah, I was trying to debate which upset I wanted there. Let's move to the next little section. We got number 6 BYU versus number 11 VCU. I feel like a lot of people are high on VCU upsetting, but I like BYU, so I think BYU wins that game.
I like BYU too. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with BYU.
And then Wisconsin, I think, can beat Montana pretty easily, 3 versus 14.
Yep.
Yep.
What's your Final Four team out of that bracket?
Final Four team, Bama.
Bama's your team out of there?
Yeah, I think that's even weaker. Like the 3, 4, 5 seeds in that bracket are even weaker. But the 6 through 13 seeds are stronger. Like you have Akron, VCU, BYU, St. Mary's dropped to a 7. I feel like there's a lot of strength in the back half of the seeds there. So again, I guess it depends on matchups along the way, but that's how I feel about that bracket.
Yeah. So you don't like Duke coming out and being a Final Four team?
No, just because I'm unsure about Cooper Flagg. And even then, if he plays, will he be 100%? And will the lack of competition throughout the year end up being what their crutch is at some point? Creighton got
Could be.
robbed. Yeah, I think Creighton got robbed too. I think they could have been maybe 7-8 instead of 9. Now, I don't know if that matters too much, but
I feel like once you're a 6 seed, like 6 to 10 or 11, that range, you kind of get similar
yeah.
draws, really.
Yeah. Ryan, I think Gonzaga can make a run if they can somehow pull St. John's as the 1 seed in their bracket, because we are still waiting on Florida to be put in a bracket. Thanks for the follow, Jackson. Appreciate it.
Yep. Still waiting on Florida. Still waiting on St. John's.
Yep. Still waiting on Tennessee. Tennessee being put in the same section as St. John's could go a long way for Tennessee. Even UConn, I feel like we're waiting for UConn as like an 8-9 seed. People are kind of high on them as an upset right now. Bro, Michigan got put so low. I don't mind it. I think the max we were going to be was a 4 seed anyway, Jackson. I'm not really concerned. So. We got a lot going on. I'm going to wait for the full bracket to come out. It seems like the regions are coming out pretty quick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we should have the full bracket here in probably the next 20, 30 minutes, right?
Probably within the next 20. I feel like the first 2 sections came out within 10 minutes. So we'll be able to run through our picks here, Zach. Pretty quick.
Very nice. Very nice. Very nice.
I think we go, what, you want to go like section by section, and then we'll break it down to our final 4? Just leave it at that, or do you want to go all the way to the championship and choose a winner?
Let's like pick a winner out of each section. Maybe like go Final Four in.
Gotcha. I'd have to break it down in my head, so I might talk out loud how I'm breaking it down. See if people can understand where I'm coming from there. Probably go one person at a time, so it's not jumping around too much. But it is what it is. And we're back. Halfway through the bracket selections, baby. Let's go. Thanks for all the likes and follows, guys. If you haven't hit the follow button already, please do so. We appreciate all the support we can get. We're waiting on the other half of this bracket, guys. Houston got the 1 seed. Houston got the 1 seed. That means St. John's is a 2 and Tennessee is a 2, guys. Houston is a 1. Playing against SIU Edwardsville, wherever the hell they are from. Respectfully, I have no idea. That should be a blowout game. Gonzaga got an 8 seed. So Gonzaga gets the draw against Houston if it's the round of 32. If they can get past number 9. Who's number 9, y'all? Who's number 9? Number 8 Gonzaga plays against. Come on. We're patiently waiting. Come on. Number 9 Georgia.
Not so patiently waiting.
Number 9 Georgia. So we got number 8 Gonzaga versus number 9 Georgia. That should be a good game. Clemson gets a 5 seed. Now we're waiting to see who Clemson plays as a 12. Who does Clemson play as a 12? McNeese. Uh-oh. I'm picking McNeese, y'all. McNeese is very underrated. Very, very underrated. If you don't know anything about McNeese, go look him up. Go look up some stats, some film, anything. The number 4 seed is Purdue. So Purdue draws a 4 seed, and they play number 13, High Point. I'm picking Purdue in that one. I don't think it's going to be close. How we feeling, Zach? How we feeling about that seeding?
You weren't as high on Houston. I asked about them potentially being a 1 seed, and I feel like they overtook St. John's. Because Florida's definitely going to be the other 1 seed at this point, right? Like,
For
it's got to
sure.
be Florida.
For sure. Illinois is now a 6 seed, playing number 11. Play-in game, Texas versus Xavier. I think the winner of that game beats Illinois no matter what. Those two teams are pretty solid. Illinois relies too much on the 3-point line, so we'll see. Tom, they didn't get in yet. UNC has to win their play-in game. But Texas versus Xavier as a play-in game is a pretty solid matchup. I think that's going to be good. Winner of that, I think, beats Illinois. And Kentucky gets the 3 seed in the same section as Illinois. I think Kentucky is Sweet 16 bound. They will face number 14 Troy. Kentucky versus Troy. UCLA gets a 7 seed. They are trash. I'm picking whatever 10 seed comes up. I'm picking Utah State, baby. 26-7 Utah State. That's who I'm picking.
That's a little bit of a sleeper out of 10 seed.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't like UCLA at all anyway. And then number 2, Tennessee in the same bracket as Houston. Same bracket as Kentucky.
Yeah, so all right, so that means this last bracket though is going to be pairing up St. John's and Florida.
And Bama.
Or I think Bama's already in a.
Oh yeah, they are in
Isn't
it. They
Bama
are
already
in
somewhere?
it. Yeah. My fault. I'm getting ahead of myself.
But yes, but St. John's in Florida is going to be in the same
That's
same
interesting.
section here, same region.
That's a bad draw for Florida.
For both of them, really.
Yeah. I'm picking Houston in that game. I'm picking the Zags over Georgia. I'm picking McNeese over Clemson, and I'm picking Purdue over High Point. Thoughts?
Agreed.
Yeah, you're right, Tom. I was tripping. You're good. McNeese is such a sleeper, and Clemson's so overrated. I think they're out. I'm picking Texas or Xavier over Illinois immediately. I'm picking Kentucky over Troy. I'm picking number 10 Utah State over UCLA, and I'm picking number 2 Tennessee over Wofford. So Wofford got the 15 seed for those who are wondering.
I don't think I've seen a 14, 15, or 16 that I'd have any faith in this year.
A lot of 10 through like 13s though have been interesting.
Yeah. 10 to 13 have been interesting. Normally there's just like a 14, 15, or 16, like something in there that
and I
looks
will
a little
say
intriguing, but
I will say there's usually like 2 10 seeds that win every year, and at least like
right.
1 11 seed. So, I guess keep that in mind when you're making your bracket if you think the trend is going to continue.
Right, like some interesting 10, 11 seeds: Vanderbilt, VCU, New Mexico State, UNC, San Diego State, potentially.
Yeah.
Utah State, Texas Xavier.
Yep. I do agree with you. I think Clemson is overrated. Yeah, weak conference. They lost against Louisville. I think Louisville is better than them. I think Louisville is going to push. I think it's Auburn. I think they're in the same section as Auburn. Correct me if I'm wrong there. I think they can push Auburn a little bit because they can shoot the ball. But they could easily shoot themselves out of the game too, so you never know.
I don't know. I don't think Louisville actually even gets past Creighton in the first game.
Really. They are also so lengthy. Pause, Tom. That's crazy. But I agree. Why is Michigan a 5 seed?
Because the game happened right before selection, and they didn't take into account the Big Ten championship, and they gave Wisconsin a 3 seed.
Exactly. I think that's the bogus part, but I don't disagree with it because we lost 4 straight games to end the season going into the Big Ten tournament. We just happened to win the Big Ten tournament, but we lost to important matchups. We lost to Maryland, we lost to Michigan State, we lost to Illinois. We dropped a lot of important games. So
You like McNeese over Clemson at 12-5?
yeah, I think that's the 12 seed I like the most.
I mean, what are the other 12 seed options right now?
People like UC San Diego. That's one of them against Michigan.
Liberty versus Oregon. You liked Liberty.
I did like Liberty. I might have to rethink that a little bit, but we'll see. Account Texas has to play Xavier in a play-in game for the 11 seed to play Illinois. Go Gators. That's the safest bet right now, Flad. That is the safest bet.
It is the safest bet. I think. Is Florida your favorite right now? Yeah.
At the moment. I want to see who gets put in their bracket, though, because I might have to pick St. John's, or I might have to pick like a 3-4 seed in that section as well. Again, 1 seeds typically don't win it all. So, ABC, Michigan, again, I think the brackets were pre-made before the championship game was played. We also lost 4 straight games before the Big Ten tournament. So, give or take, I don't really care. However, I think Wisconsin should have got dropped to a 4 seed, not a 3. Texas has to work their way in. They're a mid-tier team account, so it makes sense they have to play in for an 11 seed. That's just the way that goes. Don't really know what to tell you on that. Here's the next bracket, boys. Let's get it.
All right, last one.
We got Florida 1 seed against number 16 seed, and we're going to wait on that. Norfolk State. Norfolk State's the obvious pick here, right? No, I'm just kidding. Florida's winning the game by at least 20. Mark my words on that one.
Yeah. They're going to come out hot.
UConn gets an 8 seed in the same bracket as Florida. Uh-oh.
You don't want to play that UConn team second round.
But UConn gets Oklahoma as a 9 seed, though. Might have to think about that one. Memphis gets a 5 seed. Memphis gets a 5 seed.
I like Memphis a lot. I'm high on Memphis.
Okay.
UConn, definitely a down year.
Okay. I'm feeling the Memphis pick against Colorado State at number 12.
Yeah, I like Memphis.
Colorado State's usually pretty tough, though, in tournament play. Mm-hmm. But I will pick Memphis just because I like Penny Hardaway and I like their team. I think their team has raw talent. Not exactly the best talent, but good enough.
It's really hard, though, because they're going to get the draw with St. John's and Florida in the same bracket.
And they got Maryland in the same bracket.
Yeah.
Maryland
UConn at 8.
Maryland's a 4. UConn's an 8. Memphis is a 5. Florida's the 1. Obviously, St. John's is going to be the 2. We're just kind of waiting on it.
This bracket, this one's a bloodbath a little bit. This one's the heaviest, I feel like.
Yeah. So the more, you can flip-flop a lot more games in that one, I think.
Mm-hmm.
We got Missouri at number 6. Some people like Missouri. I'm not a fan of Missouri, but I know that's definitely a sleeper for a lot of people. So I guess we'll see who they play as the 11 seed. They play Drake as an 11 seed. I'm picking Drake over Missouri. And it's not even close. I'm already set on Drake. Again, you heard it here first.
Drake. Right, so who does Drake play in the next round? Tournament game. They play the winner of the
It's a
3
3
game.
versus 14. The 3 is Texas Tech, which is a tough team. This bracket is crazy. And we didn't know Maryland and Texas Tech was in this. You already thought it was heavy before we mentioned Texas Tech and Maryland.
Right.
And they play.
Because now you got what? Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, they play UNCW. So that should be an easy win for Texas
Right.
Tech.
But still, so now you're going to get
Wow.
Florida, St. John's, Texas Tech, Maryland. Who's the 5 seed?
Memphis.
Memphis at 5, right? And then 6 is your Missouri team.
And here's another one. People like number 7 Kansas. And people like number 10 Arkansas, who play each other in the first round.
Oh, wow, yeah, Arkansas.
Bro, this bracket.
Arkansas is a big one at 10, yeah.
This is the craziest section I think we've seen.
This is a big one, yeah.
Oh
this grouping, this last grouping, there's a reason they saved it for the end. It's a bloodbath in this last grouping. It's a bloodbath.
Number 2 St. John's is waiting on Omaha at number 15. Wow. Oh my God, this section's crazy, Zach. Do you have?
Yeah, this one's wild.
Do you have a site that already has the bracket up and posted?
The full bracket.
Yes.
I've been looking at On3 Sports. They've been pretty quick to get each region out.
All right.
On Twitter, but they don't have a full bracket out yet.
Okay. Where Arizona will land, they already landed. And I think they might get bounced right away. They're a 4 seed, Braden. I think they're bounced right away, Braden. Sorry. This region's crazy, dude.
It's cracked. Absolutely cracked. I mean, whoever comes out of this region is going to be battle tested. You might have to take the winner of this region just to win it all, because by this point.
Yeah, I'm going to start searching for the bracket a while so I can post it on the screen for y'all. I have not quite seen a full bracket posted. Maryland plays a nobody. Tom, you should be okay. I forget who they play, though. They're probably going to show the regions again. Just give me 2 seconds and I got you, Tom. Oh, so here you go, Zach. Here's the breakdown. 14 SEC teams.
Whew.
8 Big Ten teams. 7 Big 12. 5 Big East. 4 ACC. 4 Mountain West. 2 West Coast.
14 SEC is absolutely unreal.
Last 4 in were Texas, Xavier, San Diego State, North Carolina. And the first 4 out were West Virginia, Indiana, Ohio State, and Boise State.
Someone was asking about Ohio State earlier. There you go, their first 4 out.
I know people are going to be complaining about the Ohio State and or Boise State options on that.
I'm just looking at this West region again. Florida, UConn, Oklahoma, Memphis, Colorado State, Maryland, Missouri, Drake, Texas Tech, Kansas, Arkansas, St. John's, all in the same region.
Yeah, that's insane.
There's only 3 or 4 freebies there.
Exactly. Currently looking up a bracket to see if I can get this up on screen. They posted it on X. Sweet, Jackson. Official bracket. Can we zoom out? Oh.
Justin Fields joined.
Yeah.
What's up, y'all? Thanks for hanging out. Got March Madness. Got the full bracket now. So we're about to go through our picks here. Drop a like, drop a follow. Again, appreciate y'all hanging out. Let us know the sleeper team in the comment.
Yes, sir. Let's do this first. Okay, just getting some screenshots for y'all real quick. All right, y'all. Get these rolling for y'all. Let's get that out of the way a while. This is going to be sick, dude. I can't wait for this tournament. This is going to be awesome.
One of the best times of the year.
Yes, sir.
Right here.
Do you have an idea who you have as a winner yet? Or are you just going to wait till you run through the bracket yourself?
Yeah, I think it takes going through the bracket, and even we'll make obviously we'll make some picks here on the live, but we'll have to share our well thought out brackets throughout the week, before we really get into the tournament, because
Yeah.
I don't want to talk too much off the cuff. I want to get these things right.
Yeah, this is going to be our natural reaction picks. That's what I'm going to call them. They may not be consistent to what we end up doing in our actual completed brackets, or whatever Zach wanted to call them. So,
Yeah, the West is the craziest. I gotta agree. The West bracket is the most wild. Feel like maybe we should save that part of it for last right now too.
I'm going to say, oh my God. Ooh. Just get me off screen. I'm just going to overlay that on top of everything. Let's get this out of the way. Can you see the bracket okay when I do this?
Yeah, it's like taking up the whole screen, but I think it's okay.
How far do I have Michigan State going? You're going to find out right now, Cole. Looks good. Thank you, Tom. Thanks for the clarification. Definitely need that.
All right, let's just start in the South. Let's just have you break down kind of the whole South bracket just off the cuff. Who might come out of that region?
Let's see. Auburn wins that. Michigan wins first round. Louisville wins first round. I think Michigan State comes out of the South region.
Okay.
Auburn is on a struggle bus right now. They could end up losing to a team like a Louisville or an A&M on the way to the Elite Eight, or Final Four, I should say, for that matter. So my safe bet right now is Michigan State.
Yeah, I think even if a Michigan State or an Iowa State meets, I like Michigan State, Iowa State the most, honestly. And then whoever they meet in the top side of the South region, I feel like either way is going to be whoever comes out of the Cleveland and Milwaukee sections.
I agree. OU is actually in our next section. We're about to talk about the West region. And they play number 8 UConn Crimson. And Michigan at a 5, I can agree with Sean. It is what it is. I'm not worried about it. But moving on to the West region, this is the one that's the bloodbath. We probably should have saved this for last because it's probably going to be the more thought out one by both of us. When we do actually write up our brackets, I should say.
Yeah, I can jump into this one first.
Okay, I'll let you.
I think the top side of it is easier than the bottom side of it. So I think Florida walks away there. I think Memphis wins their first game. I think Maryland wins their first game. UConn, Oklahoma, a little bit of a toss up. But I think either way, you get Florida, you get Memphis, and then you get Florida all the way through there. So I think the top side's a little bit easier to kind of work your way through. the bottom part of the West bracket is tough because I do want to take Drake. I like Texas Tech, but I want to take Arkansas and I want to take St. John's. Um, Arkansas St. John's would be a really good game. Texas Tech Drake would be a really good game, but I think I don't know. It's hard to not just take St. John's in Florida
Yeah. AC,
going through their sides.
AC, thanks for the follow. There's a lot of teams that got snubbed, guys. We're not going to get into all that at the moment. I'll be live at 1 p.m. Eastern time on weekdays. We'll probably recap a lot of this stuff tomorrow. So if you want to talk about snubs tomorrow, we can do so. But we are going to run through our picks at the moment. I'm not sure if I am hard set on Florida being the team that comes out of that bracket.
So who knocks them off? Where does that line up for you?
I think they lose to Maryland.
Wow.
I think they lose to Maryland. I have Drake over Missouri. I have Tech over UNCW. I'm picking Tech to play against. You're going to think I'm crazy. I'm picking Tech to play against Kansas. I'm having Kansas beat St. John's.
I do think you're crazy.
And then I'm going to have Maryland versus Tech and probably Tech winning. I just don't think that bracket's going to be as easy as you think. Like a 1 and a 2 seed coming out of a competitive bracket like that won't happen. And if it does happen, I'll give you $20. I don't care. But
we don't sports bet, but I am going to hold you to that. All right, let's flip over to the right side of the bracket here, over into the East and the Midwest side of it. Our thoughts on UNC? I think we're both pretty low on UNC. If you're having to play a play game, make it in the tournament, it's probably not a lot of hope.
Yeah, and I'm probably Big Ten isn't knocking off Florida. Yeah, I'd have to rethink that, dog. Just off the top of my head, I think that bracket or that section is way too competitive for something to not happen. So an upset's going to happen either with Florida or St. John's or both.
Yeah. All right, you want to jump into East first here?
Gladly. Let's do the East. Let's see. Duke wins first round. I think Mississippi State wins first round. I have Liberty over Oregon. I think I'm going to keep that, and I think I'm going to keep Akron over. I'm going to pick Arizona. I'm going to pick Arizona instead of Akron. I'm going to change that. It's kind of a weaker bracket, if you ask me, like a weaker section.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd take Liberty over Oregon, too. I feel like you're discounting Oregon a lot.
I don't know. I don't like them. I don't think they have enough. I don't like Wisconsin. St. Mary's is interesting because I think they can challenge Bama in the next round. Because they're a very standard fundamental team. But I want to pick Bama for that section or that region. That's what I'm going to go with.
So Bama to come all the way out of the East.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does feel like a weak region in general. Wisconsin is your 3 seed. Who just lost in the Big Ten championship. So,
yeah,
I'm gonna stick with Duke though here coming out of it, just to kind of shorten the analysis. I'm gonna stick with Duke all the way through because I think Cooper Flag comes back and plays.
That's fair.
In the second and third rounds as we get deeper into the tournament here.
Yeah, medium beast. Yeah, I have Bama making it out of that region. I think a matchup against St. Mary's in the round of 32 will be really tough. BYU's sneaky though. I think BYU can beat either.
Get BYU.
Yeah, BYU could beat Wisconsin or Montana in that round of 32. I think they are Sweet 16 bound. And they could potentially beat either a St. Mary's or a Bama in that following as well. So I think that's something that maybe think about later on. But let's move to our final region. Also a pretty tricky region, if you ask me. Not as bad as what the West was for us. I don't have Houston making it out of this.
Yeah, we can be in agreement there. I'm looking at Tennessee or Kentucky.
I think I'm gonna pick. I think I'm gonna pick Kentucky right now. I think they're sneaky. But I like the way Tennessee has been playing recently. That's the problem, because that's a team that didn't win the championship game, but also has momentum.
Yeah, they pushed other teams to the limit for sure.
And remember, Houston is in a weaker conference, and Gonzaga at an 8 seed just won their conference tournament. So if Gonzaga keeps that momentum to play Houston in the round of 32, I wouldn't be shocked.
Right. I don't think that Georgia team is going to challenge them too much.
No. McNeese beats Clemson. Purdue beats High Point. Texas and Xavier are both solid teams. I think they have a chance to beat Illinois. But I think a sleeper here. I have Illinois losing that first round matchup, but if I had to make several brackets, I'm probably picking Illinois to beat Kentucky in that next round because Kentucky is so streaky.
So there's a chance, yeah. There's a chance.
Yeah. So that's like the thought process here. Like there's always some upsets. You have to kind of pick and choose where you want those upsets to be. Matchup wise, I think Illinois can compete with Kentucky easily. My problem is Texas and Xavier are both going to be tough matchups for Illinois no matter which team wins that play-in game. I'm going to be safe. I'm going to say Tennessee. I'm going to say Tennessee. It's tricky though, because you picked what? Tennessee, Duke. You picked. Did you pick Michigan State in that other section too? Florida. So you picked 1-2, 1-2. That I don't think is going to happen. It's never a 1 seed that wins it, and having that many 1s and 2s in the Final Four is very unlikely. Creighton is a 9, Joey. Kentucky's definitely overrated, but they have a lot of quality wins, beast. So you never know what they can do. This is definitely going to be the best March Madness in some time, Joe. I agree with you. UConn sneaky. Nothing would surprise me about them or Gonzaga, honestly. And we're still in agreements that the West Regional is definitely the toughest, right?
Yeah, West is the toughest. West is the toughest. It's not even close.
Yeah.
I mean, you could make an argument for like 6 teams coming out of the West and like have like a decent argument.
Yeah. Exactly. I don't know. But I'm probably going to hop off here and then end up making my own set bracket. And I'll probably share that with you guys tomorrow when I go live around 1 p.m. Eastern time.
Yeah.
So if y'all are enjoying the stream, please drop a follow and we'll be back tomorrow. Or at least I'll be back tomorrow. We'll break everything down and stuff. Otherwise, hope y'all have a good night and hope y'all enjoyed the stream and hope y'all are ready for March Madness. This shit is about to get crazy. All right, y'all.
Thanks for hanging out, y'all.
Have a good night.